Hey everybody, it's Party Elite, continuing this early look at the Norsca DLC. First and foremost, once again, a massive thank you to Creative Assembly and the Total War team for getting me access to this content early on so that I can make all of these videos and show you exactly what you'll be getting later on this week if you get the Norsca DLC. Now again, this is a long series. There have been, I think, 3 parts up to this one. I'm just splitting the videos up to keep things a bit more convenient, in my opinion, for watching. Let me know if you like it or if you don't. Right now we're doing some unit testing. I did say I was done with the Skin Wolves at the end of that last episode, but I realized, and I think I mentioned it as well, I want to test them against Royal Pegasus Knights, but I didn't actually do so. So I'm going to do that. I want to test them against, I think, Chaos Knights as well. Let's see if I remember to do that, and then we'll move on to the Armored Skin Wolves. If you're just diving in the middle of this video and you're not sure what the hell is going on, check the description down below, check the eye at the top right corner of the screen. There are quite a few videos that I'm doing about Norsca covering campaign mechanics, skill trees, all the units, and then testing the units themselves as well. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any requests, as always, drop it in the comments down below, but we're going to take the Skin Wolves in against the Royal Pegasus Knights to start this video off. Let's see how they perform, because Royal Pegasus Knights are pretty common, relatively speaking, on the field. I see them a fair bit, I would say. And they're fun to take. So I just want to see how they perform, and then I'll do it against Chaos Knights as well, because again, they're also a relatively common large unit. And then we'll shift over to the Armored Skin Wolves. Just want to get this done first. All right, so let's get a clean charge. No, don't go after it. Come on. Okay, good. So we're going to have to eat the charge. That's fine. Dive in, dive in. Okay. So... okay. Instant melt. I should not be surprised, I suppose. Yeah, these guys are... this is not what they're meant for. The Skin Wolves have already given up. There wasn't even time to zoom in for a fancy view there. Alright, so that's that. Quick test to start things off with. Wow. That lasted no time. They got no kills. They got barely any damage through. Alright, lesson learned. Now let's try the Chaos Knights, and you know what? If that is also quick, we'll also try it against the, whatchamacallit, Shaggoth, Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. Yeah, let's do Sigvald again. I like beating on Sigvald. Okay, Chaos Knights with... okay, let's go with regular Chaos Knights, because they have a higher melee defense, and I want to see how that stacks up. In fact, they're much higher all the way across, except for their charge bonus and weapon strength. 1400 to 900. Again, Chaos Knights are significantly more expensive, so I would not be surprised if this goes the way of the Chaos Knights. But again, for posterity, for posterior, let's get this test done and dusted, and then we can switch over to the Armored Skin Wolves and continue on with the beasties. All right, so we'll go over here. Let's get a good clean fight here. Charge into me so I can counter charge. Come on. There we go. This isn't the best charging distance. I don't know if they're getting their full charge potential in here, but looks like the Skin Wolves are melting once again. These guys are falling apart. So this is certainly not what the Skin Wolves are built for, which is perfectly understandable, of course. They're not armor piercing or anything. They are anti-large, but obviously that only goes so far when you're dealing with something like Chaos. So Skin Wolves will fall. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do well against a Shaggoth either. It looks so good, though. Dying never looked this good. Oh my god. Have they routed already? Yeah. Oh, damn. Watch that guy take a knock to the head. Alright, but that's that. So, didn't stand a chance there. Losing there to Sigvald as well, it looks like. So, let's pull out of that. Yeah, I mean, we got a couple of kills there, but it was more a morale thing, so I guess we took a lot of damage very quickly. It must be what caused that break to happen. But yeah. Figures. I'm not surprised. But let's swap the Skin Wolves out for some Armored Skin Wolves. And... extra armor should help. I mean, let's see how they do against the Chaos Knights first, and we'll go to the Royal Pegasus Knights, and then we'll try, you know, Empire Knights, or I guess Reiksguard, Demigryph Knights, Knights of the Realm, maybe. quite a few things to test them up against. I might even try testing them against, like, Senegor with Great Weapon, because, again, we see them pretty often on the field as well, I think, I would say. Okay. Let's pull back just a touch, just so we can get better charges in. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come at me. Alright. Okay. There we go. There we go. Performing a little better. Performing a lot better. The physical resistance and the armor together making quite a difference. So the Chaos Knights, according to the game, are still coming out on top, but at least we're there's more survivability here, which is a given. I mean, the armor is significantly improved, so that's pretty standard. Still getting beat around a little bit. A lot more even, actually. I think the Chaos Knights are still going to come out on top here. Ah, it's actually very close. The Skinwolves might take it. Oh, wow, huh. Yeah, you know what? I would say the Skinwolves had that. Sigvald decided to dive in here. Skinwolves might still have it. Armored Skinwolves, of course. Yeah, they do. There go the Chaos Knights. Okay, so Armored Skinwolves, the armor with a physical resistance obviously makes a massive difference. Against a non-armor piercing unit. I mean, that's just basic mechanics, but it's nice to see on the field. So let's swap these guys out with a... well, let's... Should we try a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth? Is that even worth it? Where is it? That's 2,000 points, though, to 1,050. So I would hope the Shaggoth... Who knows? But I would imagine the Shaggoth destroys the Armored Skinwolves. One way to find out. By throwing them at each other. Alright, hurry up, come on. Also, just want to mention, because I of course didn't mention it for this video, but this battlefield is actually a mod on the workshop. It's a great testing field. It's also got some nice visuals, so I will be, I'll be linking it in the description below as well if you want it for your own purposes, for science, as it were. Okay, Sigvald. Alright, good, good, good. Let's get a nice clean fight in here. How are we doing? Alright, so far the Shaggoth's said to be winning as per the game. Yeah, I mean, the Shaggoth should have this. Yeah, okay, we're eating a lot of hurt. We're at about half health. Shaggoth has barely lost a fifth. And he's decided he's not interested and he wants to go after Wulfric. Thanks. Said I want a good, clean fight.
Wulfric the Wanderer.
The hell out of there, Wulfric. Alright. So, I'm pretty confident in saying that the Shaggoth had this one. Let's try it one more time. Certainly feels like the Shaggoth has it. This time we're going to try and separate Sigvald and Wulfric just a little bit more. Keep them apart. How narrow can we go? There we go. Alright. Okay, and pull back. Separate these guys a little bit so we can get... Come on. Come at me. Come at me, bro. Look at that. That's hilarious. Okay, back to the task at hand. Yeah, so the Shaggoth is getting a lot of hurt in and taking barely any, so it's relatively clear which way this goes, I think. Jeez. And this is just a regular Dragon Ogre Shaggoth too. Oh my god. Yeah, these guys are dropping like flies. And there's the route. That guy drops dead. And that guy drops dead. And the Shaggoth is off. Okay, well, I think we all know what that counts as. Oh, is this guy sticking around? No, I think he's leaving. Yep. Alright. Yeah, it's... Yeah, I got messed up. Alright, fair enough. Lesson learned. What else shall we test? Let's try... Let's try the Reiksguard. Whoa. Where are we? Reiksguard. Not armor piercing. I imagine it'll be pretty quick. And if I recall, the Reiksguard are 1100, so just 50 more. Pretty balanced in terms of cost. See what that translates to on the field. Again, just trying to find uses for all the units. These guys are anti-large, so, you know, what large units do they actually stack up against? Alright, let's get a clean charge from both parties. Charge me, charge me, charge me. Okay. And don't know how much of the charge bonus is translating on those hits. But, eating a lot of hurt there. Which makes sense. 62 charge bonus, so I'm guessing that was a clean charge. Does that turn around, though, as this battle proceeds? Yeah, it does. After the charge bonus wears off, the Skin Wolves are definitely coming out on top. Yeah, there we go. Cool, okay, so if you can land a charge on the Reiksguard from the side or something, then you've basically got them, so that's good. Could have sworn they lost more health than that. But, okay, that's good to see. Let's try them against Demigryph Knights with Halberds. Again, these guys are armor piercing, so that should balance the playing field a bit more. And the thing is, even though Demigryph Knights with Halberds are 1500, you can expect them on the field. And that's something to keep in mind as well, right? Like, if you're able to expect something on the field and counter it, that helps balance out the cost of a more expensive unit on your front. Because if you've spent a lot of money to take a unit that has no use on the battlefield, you've essentially wasted that money. Let's see what happens here. Come on, charge me, baby. Alright, there we go. So much more organized. Alright, diving in. Weak charges, but they're so loud, the Demigryphs. But yeah, it looks like the Skin Wolves dropping pretty fast, all things considered. I mean, their health is dropping pretty fast, rather. But balanced with the Demigryph Knights. Again, these guys are the ones with halberds, so armor piercing and all. Yeah, okay. So the Skin Wolves are going to lose, but a strong fight, I would say. Decent amount of damage done to a very, very expensive unit. Again, 1500 for some Demigryph Knights with halberds. It's 500 more than this armored Skin Wolves cost. So that's I would say that's a decent trade-off, all things considered, in terms of, again, the guarantee on the battlefield. Now let's see, some armored Skin Wolves versus what else? Let's try maybe some Knights of the Realm. Trying to remember what we did the regular Skin Wolves with, so we can actually compare and contrast. Let's go with Alberic. Alberic de Bordelot. We don't get him enough in Total Breakdown episodes. On the topic of which, just a reminder, of course, that, or just letting you guys know that Total Breakdown submissions with Norsca in it will, for the next little while, maybe have a bit more of a priority, just while we're on the hype mammoth, as it were. Let's get some of that out there, right? But anyways, so these are Knights of the Realm against Skin Wolves with armor. Let us see who is victorious. What kind of an insult do you throw on Alberic to get him angry? Ah, okay, they're pushing into a lance, and if they charge, they'll probably melt us. This is the frustrating part about testing against AI. But okay, so the Skin Wolves right now are coming out on top. Armor and physical resistance, I mean, that's pretty solid. Knights of the Realm only have anti-large. And again, as we saw earlier, it looks like Skin Wolves are actually not large, despite the fact that they're as big as the horses and the people upon them. When we were doing the unit overview video, it looked like they're regular-sized units. I am looking forward to how in the second game they actually have indicators to show if a unit is large or not. So that's nice. I'm very happy to see that. Quality of life improvements are always nice. Admiring these guys. Alright, let's see how the fight is progressing. Yeah. So, Knights of the Realm fall apart. They're very similar in cost, these two units, so with that consideration, the Skin Wolves with armor have certainly trumped them. I mean, they barely took any damage. Okay, this is not reporting correctly. I know they took more damage than that, so must be just a bug. Again, this is sort of a beta. It's an early access copy, so there are always a couple of issues here and there. Nothing too major. Let's see. We just did Knights of the Realm. What about Questing Knights? Sure, they're armor piercing. They're anti-infantry. So they should have a field day. 1,200 points to the 1050 of Armored Skin Wolves. See how that plays out. After this, let's do some Senegor with Great Weapon. And let's try Chaos Warriors with Great Weapon or Longbeards with Great Weapon. Something infantry, where these guys don't have their bonus against large, just to see how they perform in, how they would perform rather in other parts of the battle. So okay, let's get our charges in. Alright. Okay, charge puts it heavily in favor of the Skin Wolves, but oh, come on. It's balancing out pretty quickly. The Questing Knights have a melee defense of 36. We're only at 28. But melee attack is 38 to 40. Alright. Got the physical resistance advantage here as well. This is kind of crazy. I guess the charge wasn't perfect, and it really helped us out. But let's pick up the pace here. Yeah, there they go. Wrecked. But took us down to half health as well. Alright, so if Questing Knights can't do it, what about... Wait, did we try Royal Pegasus Knights already? I feel like we didn't. Alright, the balance of power heavily suggests that we're going to lose this, and I'm sorry if I already did... Wow, it's been a long session. Everything starts to kind of blur into one blur. Alright, I think we didn't do Royal Pegs against Armored Skin Wolves. I know we did them against regular Skin Wolves, but alright, let's just see how this works out. Obviously, we can't countercharge. These guys are going to dive in. Wolfrick's going to go there. Alright. Initial hits, obviously in favor of the Royal Pegasus Knights. Can we bounce back against these Knights? They also have physical resistance, so 20%. That's gonna, yeah, okay. This is definitely going to the Royal Pegasus Knights. Those guys are beastly. All right, so that has completely wrecked the Skin Wolves. Again, the Royal Pegasus Knights also have magical damage too, so that physical resistance that the Skin Wolves have isn't really participating, for lack of a better word. So that, yeah, you know, half health lost to remove a unit of Skin Wolves, and then the Royal Pegasus Knights go somewhere else, or you cast Earthblood or something on them. Or, you know, you cast it while they're still fighting, I suppose. Definitely still viable on the battlefield. Let's try, what have we not seen for a while? Beastmen we haven't seen for a little bit. Let's get Malagor in there, and let's try the Sons of Goros. Gonna go with great weapons. Regiment of Renown. Wow, still have, oh, right, because Wulfric versus Malagor. Yes. See how that plays out. And then we'll try them in some infantry situations. Again, just want to see how they perform outside of their bonus versus large situation, I guess. Alright, push you there. Push you here. Wow. I forgot to remove magic. Ah, damn it. Okay, if we can get Wulfric out of here, then it's fair enough. Okay, no, there's going to be a lot of magical support here. I'm trying to do all these tests without magical support, or only with, like, Invocation of Nehek where it applies, because that, just in case, you know, there's no magic on the field, or magic is used elsewhere. I'm just trying to level things as much as possible. I'm also trying to avoid using abilities and things like that. Again, just trying to look at sort of a stat-for-stat comparison of how these units align on the battlefield, as it were. Alright, so let's get that going. Stay the hell away from Wulfric, if you would kindly. Come on, come straight down. No. Alright, there we go. Charges go in. Sons of Goros take a beating on the charge, but they are now responding quite well. Oh man. Armor-piercing magical attacks, so neither the armor nor the physical resistance are coming into play there, but still maintaining an even fight, actually. Still maintaining an even fight. Oh, there goes one. These guys don't actually get beheaded or anything, I just noticed. But yeah, that looks like it's gone heavily in favor of the Armored Skin Wolves, which is interesting. I would expect with the magical damage they'd get a lot more work done, but now it's not the cleanest of victories, obviously, but they did come out on top, and the Sons of Gorus are leaving to, air quote, reinforce, if you catch my drift. Yeah, that was okay. I was not expecting that. Okay. Let's throw these guys now against, let's get the Warriors of Chaos, let's get, actually, beaten on Sigvald, Aspiring Champions, perhaps? They're not armor-piercing, but they're magical damage. And they're heavily armored. Or do we just try some Chaos Warriors with great weapons? They're armor-piercing, but they don't have magical damage, 850, they're much cheaper. See how that works out. And then maybe we try Longbeards with great weapons so the dwarves don't feel left out. And then we'll push on to whatever next unit. Again, trying to keep this one at about an hour. It might trickle on to an hour and a half once again. It's really hard to keep that in check. I do apologize. But I'm trying my best. At least these are split apart with timestamps and all, so you can peruse as you wish. Hopefully that's helping out. Again, give me feedback. Let me know if this is working for you or not. Alright, so charges go in, not a ton of damage. Again, the Chaos Warriors with great weapons are armor-piercing. They're not large, so the bonus versus large is not in play here. But there's physical resistance for the Skin Wolves, and it seems to be helping. Most certainly seems to be helping. So much blood. Why can't we be a culture of peace? Oh man, someone blew up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and guess the Skin Wolves are coming heftily out on top. That guy got destroyed. Okay, alright, let's see how this is looking. You know what, actually it's not as much of a big step up as I thought it might be. What about shared health? Okay, we gotta get the hell out of there. All Sigvald's on the dirt there. Let's get out, and it looks like the Skin Wolves will come out on top. But at what cost? And there goes Sigvald, of course. That's very narrow. You know, I would say that could go either way. Based on hits landing and things like that, that could go either way. Let's try... So yeah, let's get some dwarfs in there. Let's get a dwarf lord and some longbeards with great weapons. Let's see how that goes. I feel like testing out range is a little bit harder, but I feel like silver bullets or something would do a decent job against skin wolves and the like, because again, it goes right through the armor. It's magical bullets. But let's start with this here, see how the dwarfs do. Get a nice charge in there. Oh my god! There's nothing as entertaining as watching dwarfs eat a charge. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean, but you've got to admit, seeing dwarfs fall to anything is highly entertaining. Alright. Rampaging a little bit. I think these are the guys with great weapons as well, so their armor piercing is probably helping, but again, we don't have like Rune of Negation going off here, protecting these guys from damage. Oh my god, these guys are exploding. Yeah, the damage resistance is, I think, helping the skin wolves quite a bit. The physical resistance, I should say, rather, helping them a fair bit. But again, Longbeards with great weapons, decent enough melee defense, they're able to stick around. The melee attack of 40 is overpowering them. Still frenzied because leadership is still up. So overall, I'm gonna guess, yeah, Skinwolves, they take a beating. It's not a clean win. It's not, no one's melting away here. But the Longbeards, okay, they popped stand your ground, so they're getting a little bit of help. But despite that, it looks like the Skinwolves would have come out on top. Of course, the Dwarf Lord manages to kill Wulfric, who is, you know, supposedly able to challenge and kill all kinds. I guess he's used to training with taller enemies. But Skinwolves do come out on top ever so slightly. The Dwarf Lord did get involved a little bit there. There was some melee defense boosts and stuff as well, but Skinwolves did come on top. That magical resistance, or the physical resistance is absolutely huge. But again, very precursory tests. Anything you guys would like to see, let me know in the comments below. There's so much content, as you can see, for me to pick and sleuth through and decide what's worth doing versus not, so it does get a little difficult. I am going to skip the Norscan Ice Trolls. They're neat. They're basically trolls with a little bit more damage, frostbite, and whatnot. Very minor differences, as you can see, so I'm going to skip past that and go into the Fimir Warriors. Now, these guys are, I mean, I guess they're frontliners. Armor piercing, armor sundering. That should be pretty interesting, but they're really expensive. 1,200. Let's start them off against, what's their armor like? 110. Let's start them off against Longbeards with great weapons, because these guys are armor piercing, and these guys have magical damage, which will do less work, and they're armor sundering and armor piercing. So how does this play out on the battlefield? Cyclopean fiends, degenerate and malign, ever vying for the attention of the dark gods. I love these little descriptors sometimes. All right.
Dark Warman! A bloodbath awaits!
A blood what awaits? It was either blood party or blood bath. Okay, hold on. I want to see this charge. With these guys is double whatever these things are, maces or whatever. Okay. Sorry, gotta keep that on, and let's see if I can get this on a first try here. Typically takes a couple takes, but yeah, didn't think so. Always get the camera speeds just a little off. Alright, anyways, that's fine. I feel like we're coming out heftily on top here. Oh my god, these dwarfs are exploding. Jeez. I mean, I can't imagine being hit by those things. Those are massive, and this isn't even the great weapon variant, so those guys are gonna destroy, I think. Alright, and I think I saw a tail whip go down as well, because these guys have some pretty wicked tails that can probably get a decent amount of hurt done too. Ooh. Oh my god. I think it's pretty clear who's winning this one. But let's just be sure. Yeah. Fimir Warriors are coming out on top. Quite handily. Taking a little bit of damage. The Longbeards, again, with their great weapons, have got magical resistance, so they're able to... You know, actually, let's see what it looks like if the Dwarf Lord gets involved as well. What happens? Because I think we can quite clearly say that they can destroy the Longbeards with great weapons without a problem. The Dwarf Lord is involved, and they're still doing well. Absolutely splattering these guys. Alright, so the Dwarf Lord obviously is going to cause some trouble. But I think that's fine. That definitely goes to the Fimir Warriors there. But again, they're really expensive. That price point is massive. 1,200. Like, what are you going to do? Have, like, 3 of these and your Lord and that's your army? Yeah. 1,200 is expensive. Let's see how... I'm wondering if I want to take some, like, Slayers or something in. Or if Hammerers are going to get important here. 1,200 versus 1,200, right? Let's see how... Let's give the Dwarfs a little bit more attention. Let's see how the Hammerers do against... I guess these are hammers. You know what? I guess that's the Fimir equivalent of a hammer. It's all I can... It's the only equivalent I can come up with. Alright, let's get you there, let's get you there. And again, I want to get a nice little charge shot if possible. Charge these guys in. Alright, this one, let's keep the camera static. Let's be a bit more reasonable with our expectations here. I only have one shot. Alright. Bam! Of course they countercharge this time. Oh my god, just complete death and destruction. Wow! You guys are splattering a lot more easily than I thought they would be. Kinda... Alright, okay, so damage-wise it's actually balanced. I guess the Fimir Warriors just aren't exploding or anything, so it looks like they're doing a lot better. They actually are. The Hammerers are coming out on top, ever so slightly coming out on top. They're at about half health. Fimir Warriors now actually at about quarter health, so that gap is growing a lot more quickly as time goes on. And the Fimir Warriors will fall to the Hammerers. Okay, so equal points. The Hammerers do come out on top. With about half their army left. And it looks like... Okay, we do have one dead Fimir Warrior here. A couple more dead, alright. So they do die. They do die. They're not immortal. And off they go, leaving the field. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm glad I did that test. Let's try them against maybe some Battle Pilgrims. Those are always pretty common, so Bretonia. Let's get Alberic de Bordelot again, just so I can say his name, and Battle Pilgrims. Alright, this should be a non-issue. Okay, this is probably actually a waste. But we've hit start battle, so we're gonna do it. I can't imagine the Battle Pilgrims will do too well here. Got Frenzy, but so what? Alright, come on. Oh, there we go. Okay, again, just because we can. Just want to get a nice, pretty one. That's all I want. Oh, are they not going to countercharge this time? There we go. Alright. Wow, that tail whip. Oh my god. You guys are blowing up. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, these guys do not really stand a chance. Can't be doing that much damage either. Let's get serious again. Yeah. So the Battle Pilgrims are melting. This is what I would call melting. They're just falling right apart. Maybe got a little bit of damage through Frenzy, but once the leadership fell down and Frenzy went away, that was that. Took maybe about a quarter, just over half, maybe just a quarter of health away from the Fimir Warriors, and gave up. Yeah, that is definitely not accurate. But, alright, interesting. So now, let's try them against Foot Squires. But that's probably also kind of wasteful, because that's anti-infantry armor piercing. Let's instead try them against, Knights of the Realm, perhaps? Anti-large, but they're not armor piercing. That's probably also a waste of time, but... Well, you know what? Let's try it. See how Knights of the Realm perform. I can't imagine... I don't know. Balance of power was definitely leaning towards Norsca. Alright. Get you there, get you there. Come on. Alright. Charge me. They're just going to go into last formation, aren't they? Yeah, they're going into last formation. Alright, let's assume the opponent goes into last formation. Of course, they're going to go after Wulfric. Come on. Just disengage, focus on the Fimir Warriors, and we can still continue this test. Alright, so at least we can test what would happen if we came in from the side. And it does look like... the Fimir Warriors coming out on top. The Wulfric died to Alberic. Alright, let's try that again. Just because those charges weren't clear or anything at all whatsoever. Alright. Just want to see what happens if they get a clean charge into the Fimir Warriors. get you over here. Let's get you back here. All right. Okay, they're gonna lance up. That is fine. I want to see them with the bonuses and stuff, but I want them to come towards the Fimir Warriors. Come on. There we go. All right, no one's getting tossed, obviously. And despite the lance charge, didn't eat too much hurt. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, okay. So yeah, so now we're in trouble. That plus 36% charge bonus is probably making a really big difference, especially for that early bit of the battle, but now that the charge bonus is worn off, will it turn around? I guess that's the question. Pretty even right now. Let's kick it up a notch in speed. Very evenly matched there. Wow, that's a very even matchup. That could have gone either way, I would say. Obviously, it looks like it's going the way of the Fimir Warriors, but that could have gone either way. Yeah, with a little bit of, you know, magic or more luck, a better charge, whatever it might be, that could have gone either way. Interesting. Alright, I mean, their cost is also pretty similar. Let's flip over to the Empire. Try some Flagellants. We got a lot of Flagellants on the battlefield. Smells bad. Sorry, I had to. Alright, okay. Let's do that. This should be melting, I imagine. And then we'll switch over to like Bestigor Herd to see how the armor piercing does. I wonder if we should try like Eternal Guard or War Dancers. Okay, these guys should become dust. That wasn't as explosive as I was expecting, to be honest. But it starts now. Okay. Oh my god. Yeah, these guys are falling apart. Oh man. This is a cold bloodbath. Hammer's doing a lot of work. Yeah, so a Flagellant front line will probably fall to a Fimir Warrior front line, but I don't think any of us are surprised to see that, to learn that. These guys are, yeah, they're not getting any damage through. They are completely destroyed, which is good to know. So Fimir Warriors will absolutely trounce Flagellants and remove them from the field. Excellent. Moving on. Let's try them against some Bestigor Herd again. There's a little bit of armor piercing there at least, so that might mean something. And also Bestigor Herd are not cheap units, so let's get Kazrak on the field, Bestigor Herd as well, and see how that plays out. And maybe we do some. Let's try some Demigryph Knights with halberds or Blood Knights. Those guys are very common on the field, so let's try those guys and maybe some infantry anti-large from the Wood Elves. Alright, what are we up against? Bestigor Herd, right? That guy got tossed. Alright, okay. So the armor piercing is definitely helping. You know, comparing it to the Flagellants from before. But, again, the explosions are misleading, because the Bestigor are doing pretty well, actually. They're causing a decent amount of hurt here. Very evenly matched up, I would say. The armor sundering is definitely helping, so again, as a support unit, the Fimir Warriors are solid there, but without any morale support, the Fimir Warriors are falling apart. I'm not going to pop... Well, I can't pop standard die or anything. And it looks like the Bestigor Herd actually take it. Wow. Call of Violence helping their leadership a little bit, but it wasn't really wavering either. So, there you have it. The Bestigor Herd have slain the Fimir Warriors, and they're now on their way out. A few that have survived. Alright. Interesting. Okay. Fair enough. It's good to see. Good to know. I wonder then if... Sorry guys, I just need to... This video would be pointless if I wasn't being thorough and playing out the scenarios in my head as they happen. So I'm going to jump back to the Empire and just try the Great Swords really quickly. Armor piercing. They're anti-infantry though. They don't have that... they don't have like an anti-large or anything, not like the Bestigor Herd did either, but... Let's see how this plays out. how much worse does this play out?
I'll take head.
And we'll just rush this one. Quick check here. These poor guys. So this is decidedly more towards the Fimir Warriors, which makes sense. Of course, great swords are not on the level of Bestigor Herd, but I was just want to see how much of a difference that armor piercing makes. You know, because the only Empire unit we checked was Flagellants. So like, what's the alternative if you're expecting a lot of Fimir Warriors? But moving on, let's give the Wood Elves some action here again. Let's get Durthu in here to beat on what's his name? Wulfric. See how that goes. And let's get some War Dancers with Ashrai Spear, because again, they're pretty common, they're anti-large, so should do well. You know what, I shouldn't have taken Durthu, I should have taken a Glade Lord. Durthu will probably whoop Wulfric and then go after the Fimir Warriors. Life of regrets. Alright. See if we can at least attract Durthu here. Why would you do that? Why would you reduce your melee defense? That does not make any sense. Alright, I mean, sure, if that's what you want. Melee attack of 34 only, so not that far off, but these War Dancers are falling apart. Falling us monsters won't make us stop. Yeah, okay, so the hell with your dances. Looks like the Fimir Warriors have got this. Their battle animations are so cool, though. Yeah, okay, so decent amount of hurt done, about half health, I would say, roughly more, yeah, half health, before the Ashrai Spear are taken care of. Meanwhile, Wulfric there running away from Durthu. Alright. Swear, Wulfric's been lucky with all the challenges he's been sent to so far. In lore, because in these test videos he hasn't been doing as well. Okay, so that worked out, but what about Eternal Guard with shields? What about the more common, cheaper unit? Do they do any hurt whatsoever, or do they just melt away? That's what I want to see. Because the War Dancers got them down to about half health, but you know, depending on how you're playing, you might have some War Dancers together with their Ashrai Spear together. You might not, but almost definitely we see Eternal Guard with shields sort of stacking the front line, so see how that plays out. Okay, well, not well for that guy. And let's kick it up a notch. Let's just see if they melt or what happens here. Yeah, okay, they're basically melting away. Bit of magical support with a rear charge, maybe they'll hold the line long enough. I mean, for example, if Durthu comes in afterwards, just like he did, they'd win, but the Fimir Warriors had that. We're not even going to dive back in for that one. Let's try those Blood Knights. Try them Blood Knights. Alright. Well, balanced power, but that's considering Wulfric versus the Necromancer, so not really a fair comparison. Try this, then we'll get the Fimir Warriors with great weapons against the Blood Knights as well, and then maybe against Crypt Horrors, Senegor with great weapon, Minotaurs with great weapons, things like that.
A bloodbath awaits.
Alright. Oops.
Come
on, give me a charge. Charge into me. Not into Wulfric, that's not what I meant. Alright. As long as Wulfric does not get out of there. Oh my god. Okay, that's frustrating as all hell. I need to realize the Necromancer's not going to engage me, so I can just put Wulfric behind the Fimir Warriors, and we'll be fine. Alright. Alright. There we go. Charge in. Come on. Alright, charge. Alright. Alright, so the Blood Knights are currently coming out on top. And I think they will continue to come out on top. And probably frighten the Fimir Warriors right off. I mean, the Fimir Warriors are getting a decent response in as well, pulling the Blood Knights down to about half health. Blood Knights are about 1,700 points, so... Actually, that's... Oh my god. Oh, okay. Alright. Now that, there was obviously luck involved there. There was, you know, the Master Necromancer fell, there was a leadership drop there. But they definitely performed a lot better than I expected them to. It's the lack of armor piercing. Armor piercing makes a huge difference, obviously. Let's try that again. I don't feel like that was a fair test. Let's try that again. Because if that's the case, if Blood Knights fall to Fimir Warriors like that, an all-Fimir Warrior army, we'll have to try and build one. Not all Fimir Warrior, but, you know, mostly. Okay, so Vlad is more likely to be aggressive. Come on, charge in. Okay. Alright. So Blood Knights on top first. Alright. Blood Knights continue to be on top. Is that going to turn around like it did last time? I don't think it even needed to turn around last time. Just leadership production. Huh. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. This is more of what I was expecting, yeah. So, we had a chance, but... Okay. Makes sense. Now we can switch over to the Fimir Warriors with great weapons and see how much of a difference that makes. So those guys are just 100 more points. Let's see if that changes things. So I think after some tests with the Fimir Warrior with great weapons, we'll dive onto the Frost Wyrm perhaps, and then the Mammoths. Maybe we just do a Feral Mammoth, or a War Mammoth. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. But let's get this show on the road. So Blood Knights, please charge straight in. There we go. Okay. So far, so good. Let's speed it up a notch. Very balanced fight there. Leadership is what's switching it over. Oh boy. Okay, that one's really even. At the end, in fact, it says both parties are winning, so let's try that again just to see if that's consistent, and then we can move on. But that is, It's interesting. 1,300 versus 1,700 points. But again, that's a very expensive unit. Alright. Come on, charge me. There we go, counter charge. Didn't really get one. But still doing better without getting a real counter charge, really. But okay, let's see. So this time they have a much better charge bonus on us. It kind of evens out the leadership damages. Crazy, but you know what? That's a really even fight. With a little bit of support, Invocation from the Heck, for example, Blood Knights would definitely come out on top. With Melkot's Mystifying Miasma, Blood Knights would definitely fall apart. So that's an interesting matchup. Very, very, very close. I would say that's a 50-50 toss-up, basically. But let's try. Let's see, with great weapons, let's try some. Where are they? Where are they? These guys. Senegal with great weapon. That should not really be an issue. I imagine these guys will melt away. Yeah. Probably not worth it. Let's try some Minotaurs with great weapons, though. Anti-large, armor piercing, 1,400 points versus 1,300 points. That should be a bit more. I feel like the Fimir Warriors with great weapons are sort of a Minotaur equivalent, and I think I mentioned that during the unit overview video as well. And I feel like that is the equivalent. So let's see, between the two of them, who comes out on top. Two over here, two over here. I mean, they literally have the same number of units as well, so... Right? Except Minotaurs roll and Fimir Warriors don't, so... Really, who's the winner? What?! That's insane! I did not expect that. The only reason they stopped is because the end of the battlefield is there. Okay, these Minotaurs with great weapons are crushing it. Oh, man. That is... That's pretty insane. Okay, at least one Minotaur fell. Yeah, this is crazy. It's not the result I would have expected. But once that, I guess once the charge bonus fell down, it became a bit more even. Minotaurs came out on top, but sort of just barely at the end there. That charge was ridiculous, though. I cannot... That was ridiculous. I want to see that again. 3 Fimir Warriors with great weapons just tossed like ragdolls. But okay, so I guess, yeah, I guess that's the equivalent here, but the Fimir with great weapons do have armor, sundering, damage, which is gonna help. It basically takes Minotaur armor down to 0. Takes it to 5. Okay, well they get a charge this time. That was not a clean engagement, but... Who comes out on top? Minotaur was the first to drop. Now we lost 2 Fimir Warriors, though. Let's kick it up in speed. Yeah, so the Minotaurs are coming out on top. But just barely, though. Just barely. Huh. Interesting trade-off. And the last time around, I would say they were a little better off. Again, a little bit of magic there can completely change how that goes. 1 Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma. You know, drop a... I mean... Jeez, Lore of Metal, you pop Plague of Rust or something. A little bit of magic will tip that balance. Let's try... okay, so these guys are anti-large and armor piercing, so let's try us a giant. Who comes out on top there? Then we can try some maybe Wild Riders with shields. I feel like Orc Boar Boy Biggins and stuff will be very easily taken care of. We can try some Royal Pegasus Knights, actually. That, I think, is a worthy test. Royal Pegasus Knights versus these guys. Did we already try it? Again, it's all just becoming a blur. Hopefully I didn't already try that, but let's see how this goes. Bam! Oh my god. I mean, it is a giant. What did I expect? Don't run away, don't run away, don't run away. Stay focused, buddy. Oh, he's staying focused. Jeez. Oh, well, these guys aren't flying around anymore. So there's that. How much should have taken? A fair bit of damage, actually. Yeah, so that's going the way of the giant, which makes sense. That's a lot of hurt coming through, so the giants definitely got this. Fimir Warriors are going to break, if not completely die. Yeah, they break. Okay. Not entirely surprised. Let's try some Wild Riders with shields. I don't think Orc Boar Boy Biggins stand much of a chance. But we haven't seen greenskins on the field for a little while. Yeah, 18 melee defense. There's armor sundering on the other side. This is a waste of time. I'm not going to do that. But we could do the Royal Pegasus Knights, and hopefully we haven't already. I vaguely remember saying Alberic de Bordelot recently, though. I do apologize if we've done this. But you know what? More tests are always good. Bigger sample size is always good. So we'll do this, and then maybe we try... maybe we dive into the Frost Wyrm, and then a couple of quick Mammoth battles or something. Not battles, but tests. Just to wrap things up within the next 30 minutes. Come on. Are we bugging out? I think we're bugging out. Match. Again, don't mind the bugs and stuff. It is early access copy, so some things are still being fixed. There's still a week, roughly. There's like 4 days to release from when you guys are seeing this. Alright. Come on. Charge him. Come on. Alright, I guess they just refuse to charge. Nothing I can do about that. Really? Come on. Okay. Huh. Are we wrecking the Royal Pegasus Knights, or is that... I mean, Alberic is in there, and he is also anti-large, and we're destroying the Royal Pegasus Knights. So what does that tell you? I'm not going to try that one again. They're just not charging. What I could do is this. Tonia, Alberic, and Royal Pegasus Knights, and then on the other side we'll get... let's just do Wintertooth because I've already seen them. Marauder Chieftain, and... what are we testing again? Fimir Warriors with great weapons. I'm the one who charges. Alright. It's just funny going from Norsca to Bretonnia because of all the, like, filigree and prettiness versus, like, leather that's still tanning. I forgot these guys have Vanguard Deployment. Alright, so let's dive in. And who comes out on top? Wow, the Fimir Warriors with great weapons are beating on those Royal Pegasus Knights. That is good to know. Okay, alright. Royal Pegasus Knights don't stand a chance against the Fimir Warriors with great weapons. Lesson learned. Now, let's move on, I think, to the Frost Wyrm. Shall we? Frost Wyrm, Norsca. Frost Wyrm. Okay, first thing I want to test. And this might sound weird, but the first thing I want to test is actually Harpies. How do Harpies perform against a Frost Wyrm? Because, again, the Frost Wyrm is probably more of a support unit. It's not going to be diving in to get a lot of hurt in and staying in, I think. I think it'll dive in, get some damage in, get the slowdown effect, and then pull out. Right? So let's see if we can intercept. Now, Harpies have a speed of 82, so I want to observe that stuff as well. Harpies have a speed of 82. We're within the Chilling Aura, goes down to 53, and then within one attack goes down to 10. So that's huge. It's a massive speed drop, but with a full surround... okay. Alright, that's a non-issue. Just making sure. So I assume Fellbats will be similar. Let's now try Royal Pegasus Knights. Let's dive right into it. And... Bretonnia. Now, we'll go with the Fey Enchantress, because if you've got, you know, like a Lord or whatever, he's probably in the air as well. Fey Enchantress, Royal Pegasus Knights. Let's keep the magic stacked. No. I don't know. Why would we do that? Okay. Let's see how quickly the Frost Wyrm doth fall. We can try the Frost Wyrm against some like Blood Knights and Demigryph Knights as well, but they're all anti-large, so I don't think the Frost Wyrm stands a chance there. But again, those are the guys that are going to come and respond if the Frost Wyrm is about to drop in on them, right? So I think those tests are kind of necessary. Alright. So what is our lasting power here? A cup? Well, there's one already on the ground. Full surround. Peg Knights are pegging. Frost Wyrm is not enjoying this. Yeah, okay, so basically, I guess don't take the Frost Wyrm against Bretonnia, because you're almost guaranteed some Royal Pegasus Knights, and that did not work out for the Frost Wyrm. Let's try it against some Demigryph Knights with Halberds. Because, again, that's what's going to respond if and when the Frost Wyrm decides to land and try and get a swipe in. But again, you're likely to see the General of the Empire in the air. So you know what? Let's just take the General of the Empire on an Imperial Griffin and see how the Frost Wyrm performs there, right? Because if you've got the Frost Wyrm against the Empire, and it's your only flying unit, you can try and bait the General of the Empire into, you know, into like fire from your Marauder Hunters or something. Oh, damn. Right, I should have given some ground units. Oh. Despite the leadership drop, there goes the Frost Wyrm. Okay. Now we'll try some Demigryph Knights just so we can see it. You know, let's say the General's been killed or something. Let's go with some Demigryph Knights with Halberds and see how that plays out. Because the Frost Wyrm is really exciting in theory, but how much use are we going to get? I also want to check the speed reduction it does to Goblin Wolf Riders. Get down there before they charge. Alright, so these Demigryph Knights with Halberds have been reduced to 10 speed. That's negative 80. They've taken some damage, but they are very quickly taking care of the Frost Wyrm. Extremely quickly. This guy's not having a good time. Is he already out? Yep. And that's that. That's the Frost Wyrm. Alright. I mean, I'm not stopping there. We can check it out against a Glade Lord on a Forest Dragon. Where are we? Glade Lord. Glady, as some of you perhaps prefer to call her. And again, I forgot to give ground troops, but that's okay. But yeah, after this, I'll try them out on a unit of Goblin Wolf Riders just to see the speed, I think. Again, having to be really picky because there's so many variables, so I do apologize if there was something you were hoping to see and I don't do it. But there's just so much to choose from, it becomes really difficult. Again, a negative 79 speed is 11, so that's huge. And Frost Wyrm on the charge was coming out on top, but very quickly that's turning around. I feel like the Glade Lord is going to have this. Oh. Come on, don't be a leadership thing. Yeah, okay. So. Okay, well, we'll have to give them some ground troops. Sorry about that, guys. But, yeah, so, again, there's so many variables, so many options, so many units to pick from. It's kind of difficult to pick and choose what everybody wants to see. I'm thinking about what we see most commonly on the field, you know, lords or units mainly that we see commonly on the field, so we can consider the various units against that. But maybe you guys have a thought on a certain counter that you'd like to test out or see tested, or a certain, you know, maneuver or tactic you'd like to see me try out. Again, drop those comments, or drop those suggestions, rather, in the comments below, and I will happily test that stuff out for you because, again, there's just too much to think up. There's too much to parse in terms of options, and I couldn't do everything without recording for like 72 hours straight, and then how am I going to upload that? Alright, so this is decidedly in favor of the Glade Lord. It's like Frost Wyrm, don't take it, potentially. Let's try it against, I want to see against, where are we? Greenskins. Let's get Azag up in the air, but also get some Goblin Wolf Riders. Because again, if the Frost Wyrm is shut down by every other flying unit, or maybe the Warriors of Chaos or something, we'll do fine against it. But let's see how this goes. So, Sag. Ah, damn it. God, he has magic. But let's just, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Azag wins that even without magic. Come on. Azag, get rid of your magic. Again, not likely what's actually going to happen. You're guaranteed to see at least one Spirit Leech. But just in case. Alright. Okay, let's get you over here. Let's get you diving in. And The only other thing I want to test with the Frost Wyrm, I think, is the speed reduction on the Goblin Wolf Riders. Huh. Oh, the Frost Wyrm's actually coming out on top. What do you know? Cool. Awesome. Alright, I did not suspect that. But again, with a Spirit Leech, there goes your Frost Wyrm, or with a couple of Spirit Leeches, you know, depending on what's going on. Or if Azag drops down next to some anti-large units, anything's possible. But let's try and see. Like, these Goblin Wolf Riders have a speed of 92. Chilling Aura is going to drop them down to 59, which is quite a drop. And then one hit of Frostbite drops them down to 12. That is nothing. Infantry can catch up to that. So the Frost Wyrm is really going to be a battlefield control unit. Like I've said that countless times. That's what they're going to do best. They're going to slow things down. They're going to prevent flanking maneuvers, etc., etc. Now, it's Mammoth time. And feel free to suggest Mammoth combinations and Mammoth tests and Mammoth things to hit. I could do Mammoths versus Peasant Horde, but let's be realistic here. We know how that's going to go. Let's get the Fey Enchantress, and let's get some Royal Pegasus Knights to start the testing off, and see how let's see how a Feral Mammoth does against some Royal Pegasus Knights. I'm not sure if I want to test everything with the War Mammoth. 2200 is quite expensive. Definitely want to test some things with the Mammoth out first, then we'll try the Feral Mammoth, I should say, and then we'll try the War Mammoth. Alright. Come at me. Alright. It'll be pretty clear to see if... Oh, come on, don't hit me, Wolfric.
Hear my taunts. Quickly now.
Extremely frustrating. More Royal Pegasus Knights died. Oh my god. A waste of everyone's time. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Just gotta keep Wolfric next to the Mammoth. They'll charge down and then...
Wolfric the one.
Come at me.
Onward.
Okay, charge down. Alright. Okay, that's ridiculous. I'm not gonna do this. I can't. I'm gonna flip it again. I'm gonna be Bretonia. I'm going to bring the Fey Enchantress to not use any magic. And Royal Pegasus Knights. And you're gonna be Norsca. And you're going to bring Wolfric and a Feral Mammoth. Cool. I feel like the Royal Pegasus Knights are gonna make very quick work of the Mammoth. Mammoth, again, is anti-infantry. Royal Pegasus Knights are anti-cavalry. Anti-large, rather. And a Mammoth is large. I think. Okay, let's get this engagement going on, and get you down there. Okay. Oh, wow. Jeez. Just kind of silently watching this Mammoth take on these Pegasus Knights. Come on, give me something. Give me nice jump. I feel like these Royal Pegasus Knights are actually falling apart. Let's just see how they did. Of course, this is lying to me. That's what I get. That's what I get for cinematic view. Alright. Let's get serious again. Let's get serious again. Alright. Let's get Fey Enchantress off to the side here. Pegasus Knights down here, and let's see what happens. Take to the air. Go back down, there we go. So, yeah, Royal Pegasus Knights are coming out on top. Except when Wolfric gets involved. Pretty safe to say, though, Royal Pegasus Knights had that look like. AI doesn't always cooperate when you need them to. Alright, Norsca. We're sticking with... Get Throg on the field. He hasn't seen any action. Let's get some more Feral Mammoths. And let's go up against... Damagriff Knights with Halberds. Again, common sight on the battlefield. Let's see who takes it. Again, Damagriff Knights with Halberds are anti-large, so I expect they'll do pretty well. They're common on the battlefield, so is it really safe to take a Feral Mammoth? If the Feral Mammoth drops to the Damagriff with Halberds, I might try Minotaurs with Great Weapons, and then let's try the War Mammoth. Because at least the War Mammoth has anti-large. So, okay, the Mammoth is coming out on top right now. But I think that's the charge bonus helping out. Charge bonus of 80. Does that turn around? No. No, that does not turn around. Oh, wait, yes? It's pretty even. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. The damage output on the Mammoth is huge. So... I wouldn't be shocked by this result, but I feel like the Royal, or rather the Damagriff Knights should do a little bit better than that. Okay, let's assume that they get the charge, because they're probably going to. Okay, they get the charge, because you're busy dealing with some infantry, and they come in from the flank, and now they're beating on your Mammoth, who is trying to walk through them instead, and he starts swiping away. Great animal. Look at that. But it is taking the beating now. And it's not delivering nearly as much of one. So I guess unless you get that charge in, which obviously with an 80 charge bonus is a big deal. Oh, no. Return of the Mammoth. Wow. That went from being decidedly for the Damagriff Knights with Halberds to being 50-50. Let's try the Minotaurs with Great Weapons. Kazrak, Minotaurs with Great Weapons. Let's see how that goes. Let's see what rolling into a Mammoth does for you. And depending on how this goes, well, either way, we'll switch to the War Mammoth after this, and I don't think we need to test out the War Shrine. That's just leadership buffs and stuff like that, so that's wholly unnecessary. Okay, so let's get the charge in. Oh my god! Let's toss those Minotaurs aside. Charge bonus kicks in. Does a decent amount of work here. Alright. It's too big to capture on the screen. I doubt this thing can pick up a Minotaur with Great Weapons. They're too big. But let's see how this is going. Actually, pretty even. Damage output-wise, 50-50. Leadership-wise, it's looking like the Feral Mammoth is going to give up. Yeah, it looks like it. But that's a lot of hurt done. And we're going to win at the end of the day, but very even there again. Surprising. Is it surprising? I think I've been recording for too long. My brain is starting to mush. Pretty even though. Again, this thing is lying to us. It was very even. Could have gone either way. So let's actually flip over to the War Mammoth. Because again, the War Mammoth has those javelins that are anti-large, like the javelin throwers atop the howdah. So that should make a difference. Let's try it against some Minotaurs with Great Weapons. Maybe try it against some Blood Knights. Demigryph Knights with halberds, perhaps. And we'll see how that goes. Alright.
I'm ready! I do it!
Come on. Are you seriously going to go to... It's extremely frustrating. Alright. We're okay. We are okay. Alright. Get you over here. Get you over here. Get you charging right away. Push you up this way. Yeah, so those javelins are already getting shots off right from the get-go. Doing a decent amount of damage instantaneously. I had to. Oh, wow. Okay, I thought we blew up a Minotaur. We did not. We did not blow up a Minotaur. This guy's not having a good day. He is not happy about his situation right now. He does not like Minotaurs. Where are you tossing your javelins? Oh, I guess because those guys are leaving. Let's see the javelin throwing animation. Huh. Wish I had a drummer. I do like the javelin throwing. It looks pretty nice. It's very smooth, actually. Yeah. Do they have another javelin thrower somewhere down here? No. Alright. Let's end that. That went quite well. Let's try Blood Knights. Blood Knights. Again, War Mammoth's 2,200 points. This is a very expensive unit. You're not just going to be fielding these guys on a whim, but at the same time, you're guaranteed to be facing infantry, so you're guaranteed gains with a War Mammoth. Alright, first javelin already through, beating on these fools. Blood Knights get a full surround. How do we respond? Smack him around a bit? Okay. Works for me. Are they throwing their javelins still? Yeah, they are. Javelins are still coming down, and what's this like? Kind of even. War Mammoth is decidedly winning, though, but it's nice to see those javelins pop down every once in a while. It's a very nice sight. Alright. Yeah, these guys are getting absolutely destroyed. These Blood Knights are falling apart. But 2 units of Blood Knights, maybe? Perhaps a Spirit Leech making a difference? Let's try... Oh, you know what? I know what we need to try. Let's get the Dwarf some representation over here. Ungrim, Iron Fist, and some Slayers. Some Dragonback Slayers. We do see them pretty often. So Ungrim gets to fight Throg, and the Slayers get to die to the War Mammoth, potentially, or take it down. Let's see how this plays out. Should be interesting. Okay. So, Throg. Here, okay, I definitely want to take a second and these guys are almost certainly going to charge in. It's never easy to plan these shots. Well, it's never easy to execute these shots. Come on, they've got to charge. They're not going to charge your Slayers. Come on, charge. There we go. Oh, boy. It's not the perfect shot, but certainly saw results. That is one unhappy-looking Mammoth. Not want to be on the other side of the battlefield. We still haven't seen the Mammoth pick something up. Granted, we haven't been against... Oh, no. I thought we picked something up. We haven't been against infantry that much, really, but I'd like to see the Mammoth scoop something up and toss it in the air. Oh my god, these guys are exploding. That guy's trying to kick a Mammoth. That's not a good idea, buddy. Alright, come on. Wow. Absolute carnage. Oh, he's got one, he's got one, he's got one. Aw. Ah, I thought he was gonna blow up. Okay. Fine. But I think, we're coming out on top there. Yeah, we're coming out on top. Those guys don't stand a chance. Speed it up. Okay. I mean, they're doing some damage, to be fair. 2 units of Slayers might have actually finished the War Mammoth off. But, Ungrim here isn't able to kill Throg, and these Dragonback Slayers are fulfilling their destiny, I guess, against the War Mammoth. Interesting. Very interesting. I think I'm going to do one last test. Yeah, well, maybe. One last test, and then we'll do something else for fun. And I want to take the War Mammoth against Kolic Suneater. Battle of the Beasts. See who comes out on top. Throg's gonna sit back and watch. And hopefully, I want to see the War Mammoth destroy Kolic. Alright. Alright. Throg back here. Let's get you up here. And... it's javelins. Look at that. Look at that. That's probably going to be the thumbnail for this one. Look at that. Boom. Alright. Oh, looks like he took the hit. Oh man, those javelins as he's going up. Ah, that's so cool. Sorry, I'm losing my... the javelin stuck in his arm. That is amazing. Oh my god. Those javelin throwers are such a nice touch. Fire rate's decent too. Oh, I didn't notice the chain jingling around earlier. That's cool. Oh, that's so neat. Sorry, I was freaking out over the javelin again. I'll just look from these guys' perspective. Yeah, they can't see much. So high up compared to a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. Look at that, his hammer doesn't even get this high. Ridiculous. Come on, chuck those javelins. Oh, that's so cool. This Mammoth is huge. Mammoth is huge. Alright. Is that alright? Let's get, you know, that's very even. I'd love to see a sync kill where, like, he wraps his trunk around his neck and just snaps him in half, drops him or something. Anyway, this is surprisingly even. Throg is just back there chilling, but the War Mammoth is getting a lot of work done here on not just any Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, but Kolic Suneater himself. Now, he is falling apart ultimately, the War Mammoth, unfortunately, but not without doing a decent amount of hurt. Bringing Kolic down to half health is no joke. And then with a little bit of magical support or a little bit of leadership support, the War Mammoth would do quite well. We haven't seen a War Mammoth die yet. War Mammoths are pretty slow, so this one might actually die. He might... You taunting me? He's not gonna try and kill him. Come on, Kolic. Give us a show. We're at an arena. Alright, nonetheless. So that was interesting. The War Mammoth and the floating javelin throwers did a decent amount of work against Kolic. So that is what it is, folks. I mean, War Mammoth for 2,200 points with a little bit of support you know, you pop like Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, or you bring in Spirit Leech or something. I don't know. Be interesting. But to cap this off, to end this video, I say we try to pick a map, first of all, that's nice and open. Southern Chaos Wastes? No, it's not plain enough. Prague is kind of plain. I hear Prague is beautiful. Oakenhammer's kind of plain. Yeah, okay. Alright. Alright. If you're not sure what I'm doing, just looking to have a good time. Yeah, let's surprisingly even balance of power. Let's see how this goes. So this is probably what I'm going to roll credits to, as it were, so to speak. I might try to do, I don't know, some quest battles over the course of this week. Maybe get an hour into either faction's campaign, just to show you guys what the campaign starts are like. But this will probably be it in terms of the preview videos, as it were. This is going to be how we call it. Damn, there are trees in the center there. Let's try it. But yeah, so if you have any requests, any suggestions, anything you'd like to see, do let me know in the comments down below. If you have any suggestions about how to improve these segments in the future as well, these like sort of faction overview videos, early access videos, let me know. Again, your feedback really helps this channel well, be what it is. It helps me grow, helps me do what you guys want to see, because after all, at the end of the day, that's really what matters. So for now, we're going to let these Sons of Sigmar go to Sigmar, as it were. And on that note, thank you guys very much for joining me. As always, this is Party Elite signing off. For more Total War content, make sure you subscribe. I'm being completely distracted by these mammoths wrecking these flagellants, but yes, for sure, subscribe to this channel if you'd like more Total War content, early access stuff, news about the second game as it comes out. There's so much happening right now, on screen, as well as, you know, I'm sure over at Creative Assembly. But as always, guys, thank you very much for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure working on this kind of stuff, and getting a chance to showcase mammoths absolutely destroying some flagellants is what being a great general is all about. Cheers, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you have any requests for content, let me know in the comments below. If you have any requests for anything else, as always, I'm open, I'm all ears. Follow me on Twitter, smash that like button, everything else that YouTubers say, so that I can say something while we're watching these flagellants die. In fact, I'm just going to go quiet now, and let's check this out.